How about my dearest YouTube friends? Today we are in a new video. The new analysis of the new idol character Veil Amigos is the third idol that we already have in Marvel at 3 superior behind Lumatrix and then Isofine. Then SOLVARCH becomes the third. In this case, I have to thank my subscriber friend Nacho for leaving me this SOLVARCH in rank 3 for Singularity 20, which I also tell you that the Singularity quality is not so necessary. The only thing that helps us is that the block only breaks life. Unblockable effect, since it consumes robustness passives and turns into resolution, it means that it can block unblockable attacks separately. While Solva has resolution, it is immune to Machak, so it is not so important to get the massive damage that this character has, which is actually also more useful because it is not so massive. Because in this case, we are going to see 2 rotations that it has alone. Software, okay, in this case we are going to read a little about his abilities, and he has a fractured bar with all the shades apart. The software regeneration rate cannot be reduced by 50% against mutants. It cannot be reduced by 100. It is worth the software stop mesh. Here it is very important. It can activate any attack that does not produce contact to stop. Therefore, Onslaught comes to mind. Havoc, any character that does not make contact, this character will be able to stop him, and that is very, very useful apart from software, right? Well, being critical hits, on the other hand, for each energizing effect it has more damage. It has robustness that starts all fights with 5 and apart. As long as Solvar has some robust effect, critical penetration, the opponent is reduced by minus 180%. Then we have the ISO core, which is how we are going to be playing with Solvar. We have the absorption and release 1, which is orange, and another that is blue. It is worth counterpoints that are not cosmic. When it is charged to 100%, Solvarifies a 50% passive kinetic discharge, which is damaged by disadvantage in an explosive way. Okay, when Solva receives energy damage, it passively regenerates 50% of the damage received, therefore a direct counter against Onslaught, because let's remember that this leaves Neurosoti and any character who puts passive disadvantages, since Solva is going to regenerate when he says he suffers. Cold Wave disadvantage, Solv accumulates 5 core charges when absorbing active. Super Attack accumulates 10 core charges for each complete power bar. Okay, then we have the ISO core, which is the absorb mode, which is the blue mode. You're already seeing it accumulate. Charges the second average attack of Solvart, inflict, cold wave, and energy damage every second. That's how we're going to be developing our friend Solvart. And then we have the ISO core, but the liberal mode, which is the orange mode, which loses 4 core loads every second and gains a reverb opacity with up to 300% power based on the core load. That's going to make them more force through the downsides. Then we have the super attacks, touch the luck during the software sub attack, another with bonuses for each touch. So very friends. It is important that every time we have consolation super attacks, we give several times on the lock screen so that we gain either robustness or gain energization depending on what mode we are in. So it is very important when you have a super attack, hit the screen many times with absorb mode. Consumes 10 core charges to have a robustness passive, and in mobilization consumes a robustness effect to generate 1 energize. Solvart has a conditional 50 per combat power rate, and as a defender only converts the entire charge. Available or half available during your attack with your part, then 1. Activation changes the IS core mode or the mode in the absorbing mode. If that goes, it has at least 5 lanes of final blow, it has drain powers, and if in liberal mode, if that goes, it has at least 5 lanes of energy. The final blow has a disadvantage of stun for 2.50 seconds. That this is important for development. The sub that is the most powerful, that has software that in the mode absorb the final blow has a disadvantage of powers, and in the mode release the final blow. Passive anti-healing, and finally its attack 3. Since we have a much more powerful attack based on the core load, and at the end of this attack it enters absorbing mode. Once you read the software skills, which are quite long, well, we are going to move on to the 2 rotations that software has that are the best for me, and using Supe attack 3 and not using Supe attack 3, I am going to show you the first rotation, that in this case what we have to be doing is trying to enter the fight. As you will be seeing, we enter with 5 robustness and 25 absorbing modes in blue to see when they finish charging and all that. Then what we have to do is basically live with half and half blows. It can also be half weak, half or directly 5 hit pumps to load those loads that we have above under the software life, and you are seeing them rising once every second, so we can support that. You are also seeing that every time we make a medium weak, medium blow, well, we are not going to let in Disadvantages of the Winter Soldier, a cold wave that in this case does damage by disadvantage. Okay, once what we have to do is reach the 3 power bars and have 100 of these charges in the release mode. As you are already seeing that we no longer have 9899 and we have 100. Therefore, what we have to do now is throw Super Attack 2 and block several times, so that in this way we gain the greatest possible armor, which in this case is 15. So what do we do now? Well, we have to start again, because we will have to go to Super Attack 3 again, but in this case getting those 100 charges in Liberation mode again, but in this case we already have 15 robust ones. Therefore, our strength and our blockade is going to be even greater, as you are already seeing on the screen. So I always recommend the medium weak medium combo, which in the end is how we will be able to make it easier to get the charges in the release mode. As you can see, here we have the 3 fractured bars, and what to do now? Well, that is reaching 100 charges in the release mode, which is the blue one at the top left. We are already at 86 loads. We already have a little 8894 left. In this case, you are already seeing that the development is a little slow, and what we have to do now is throw Super Attack 1 and hit it several times on the screen to get the maximum energy, which is 10. Once done, we throw Super Attack 2 and look at that massive damage. Since we haven't killed him, we're leaving again. We have to be very aggressive because we remember that in orange mode we lose those charges per second, and look at that damage. We have to throw over attack 2 after over attack 2, and if not with the blows. Thanks to regulation, we have that red blow. You have seen that this as such is quite slow. In fact, Solver itself is quite slow to develop, okay? But we still have massive damage and above all utility. In this case, I have shown you rotation number 1. I am going to repeat it again so that you see it faster, and we are going to rotation number 2, which is using attack 3. So in this case, we are going to repeat rotation number 1 again so that you can record it, keep it in your mind, and you will see that it is super easy to use. It is true that it takes a little at first to know the mess of super attack and so on, but when you already know it, this software becomes quite a killing machine. Well, nothing 2 blows or 5 blows or weak medium blows, which for me is my favorite because that's how we do it. Well, extra damage with a little bang, and apart from that, we get a cold wave. Okay, you're already seeing it, so we have to reach 100 charges in the release mode, and to throw our super attack 2, always blocking, hitting the lock screen several times to win those techs robustness. Okay, let's go there. We already have it. We almost have 99 loads. 96. Let's see if he leaves us. He doesn't want to leave us perfect. We already have it. So we hit with super attack 2 and hit the screen several times to win that reinforced armor. And what we have to do again is go to the 3 power bars and get those 100 charge of release mode again. Stop in this case, instead of sub attack 2, we are going to shoot sub attack 1. I already tell you that you can use any type of combo blows, weak, medium, 5 medium. As you are seeing, weak, medium, medium. I already tell you that it is my favorite because this way we win those blue charges more quickly. Therefore, we gain more time to fight. We almost have it, well, almost no lie. We have 65 charges. We have it there. Let's remember that we are winning this every second and we already have 75, now 82. The only thing I already tell you is that it is a little getting used to how slow it is to load this release mode and so on, but for the rest, he is a great fighter. We already have the 100 because we throw super attack 1, and remember to tap the block on the screen to gain those 10 advantages of energizing and throwing super attack 2 in a row to see that massive damage that you are seeing on the screen as we don't kill it. Because in this case, this rotation is good for characters like Osload because we throw another super attack again. Super 2, which in this case has blocked us, okay? If we hadn't killed him, he has even done a lot of damage. But you can see, I have the relic and everything because we can fit more knocks and we can fit another Super 2 attack that we already literally killed the Winter Soldier. This is rotation number 1 without using the Super Attack 3. Now, we are going to explain rotation number 2 for this Solvar, which for me, I think is my favorite because I like to see an explosion of quite large damage, and in this case, it is the case. Yes, almost the same, but it's not worth it, friends. So be very attentive that we have to enter the stop and only make medium hits. Medium, medium. We put ourselves behind another stop, medium and medium hit, and so on until we reach the 3 power bars and 100 release. Okay? We have it there. This is only worth half and a half blows to load much faster. Our focus remains on coordinating between release mode and accumulating charges for the 3 fractured power bars. This approach ensures strategic efficiency in leveraging SOLVARCH tools during combat. So, what are we supposed to do, friends? We already have 100. We charge our 3 power bars and throw super attack 2. We hit the screen again to gain those 15 armor, and what we have to do now is go back to super attack 3 to be able to, with the 100 charges of liberation mode, throw super attack 1, okay? But in this case, you will see the difference in the next step, so to speak. Okay, friends, okay, so we continue with the bombers, medium and medium. Okay, in this case, I missed a couple, but it doesn't happen. Nothing to quickly load those blue charges in release mode to reach 100 as soon as possible. There we have it. We continue a little plus 6, 4, 6, 5, 7, 1. Perfect. We keep hitting medium weak blow, medium to be able to get those 100 charges. Let's see if they let us. We already have 8995 and we are going to have it, and what we have to do now is throw super attack 1 and lock the screen again to put those energies that we have to do now. Well, unlike the previous rotation, throw the super attack 3 because you are going to see that damage due to disadvantage, due to explosion, or rather by the way we see the super attack 3 of Solvar, which is quite handsome, and you have seen how it has exploded all this percentage of life. If for whatever reason you can't kill Al, Defender with this super attack 3 rotation, just go to super attack 2 and you will see the damage this character has. You have already seen that this rotation is faster, and for me it is my favorite. It's worth the only thing. I already tell you that SOLVARCH is a bit complicated to use, but once you handle it, you can do an indecent amount of damage. In this case, I'm not going to explain rotation number 2 to you again because it is quite simple and it has turned out quite well in the fight. So if you want to see it again, go back a little. And so friends, SOLVARCH is a pretty good character. He doesn't need the duplicate to get all the damage you have seen in the video. My favorite rotation is rotation number 2 with super attack 3, and apart, he is a useful character since we can stop blows that do not infringe contact, and apart, he has robustness. Therefore, as a defender, he can also work very well due to that fractured bar. So friends, leave me in the comments, what do you think of this software? If you have achieved it, have gone for it, or something like that, also leave it in the comments. And friends behind you, like the video. I who are with you, and see you in other videos. Bye bye. And before finishing the video, thank you very much to all of you who are members of the channel for becoming a member. You got it in the description. Many thanks to the VIP Sori of Ana Banana, Eliel Ramirez, and Oscar Salmeron, and to the authentic Sori of Facundo Juan. Thank you all very much.